Hi there, this is Bob Joel Mwagara, and these are our normal cybersecurity courses. You guys might be wondering why I'm over-yapping about cybersecurity, but actually the fact is, when I talk about cybersecurity, it's about me, it's about you, it's about your government, it's about your country, it's about all the economic activities taking place, it's about the company, the organization you're working for. Like you guys, I want to ask a few questions. I want to ask 3 questions actually. The first question is, what is your online identity? The second question is, where does your online data go? The third question is, why should you protect your online data? A lot of you guys are wondering wondering how the social media platforms are operating. How are they getting money? These social media platforms actually, some of them are getting money out of selling your information to different governments. Now, for example, when you install an application on your Android device, when you install an application on your iPhone, you'll discover that after installing this application, the application will actually kind of start asking for permissions. It will ask for permission to do this, to use this device, to use your microphone, to use your camera. Sometimes you might be actually installing a calculator and you discover that the calculator is asking for permission of using your camera. Why is it so? The calculator wants actually to get some data about you. Maybe where are you, where is your location now, like how does your location look like. You'll discover that when you're installing new social media applications, they'll actually ask you, can we access your location? Then if you agree to access your location, some applications actually can't work minus you're agreeing to that location thing, whereby your GPS device is being used. Like after agreeing, that application will actually be kind of getting information of your location. Maybe you remember you're going to put your name on that social media platform, and now this application is accessing your location. It's accessing actually where you are right now, and it's accessing with the cameras and the devices. It's accessing your pets and all that. As more of your digital information, as more of your data is online, as more of your personal information is online, let me tell you, and I actually want you guys to pick it from me, the data you put online needs protection. You need to protect your data. That's where a cyber security expert comes in. Cyber security is the ongoing effort to protect your data online. It's an ongoing effort to protect your data online. So minus a cybersecurity expert, minus a security expert, your data roaming online is actually some threat. It's a threat actually, because imagine applications are accessing your galleries. So these people may get your personal information and ask for money, for ransoms. They ask for ransoms so that they can maybe get the money from you. So why should we protect that data? Why should we protect that? Some people, for example, me, I personally, I use my banking services online. I love using my bank services online. So you'll discover that every time I log into my computer to access my bank information, or just that activity, someone can just get my credentials through different attacks. You'll discover that a few years back, there was something that happened. I think most of you guys heard of what they call a ransomware, a ransom attack. Yeah, these people actually kind of restricted people from getting their information, and they were asking for a ransom. These attackers were asking for a ransom they were asking for ransom in form of bitcoins in order to let you access your computer. So a lot of personal data was under threat. People were scared of their data, their information. So what if these people could use that information to do something else? What if they could, moreover, they attacked organizations, very big organizations? What if organizations were actually, what if their information, their sensitive information was put out? So that was the fear. So as a security expert, cyber security expert, you need to be aware of all these. So that's where our protection and our data protection is needed. So as usual, today we're going to do this. This is the short theory, so we're going in for our practical session.
So before we go into the deep cybersecurity, because you guys will need to install, I think you guys should prepare in future. You guys will need to install any Linux operating system. I'll be using Ubuntu, but you can install Kali Linux. In case you don't have a computer where you install the Linux, you can try setting up a virtual environment where you install the Linux. I'll be using Ubuntu. I have 2 computers, so you shouldn't worry about me, but you guys should at least get a virtual environment where you install your operating systems, but that will be for the future. As for now, I'm going to show you on how to share information because you want to share your information on the network, and how to restrict or give access of that information. You may be having information and you want someone to access that information, or you may be having information that you don't want people to access. So today I give you I give you a tutorial on how to do all that. So I have two computers here with me, but just because I don't really want to stress you guys with the cameras, and I really want you to see to focus on what I'm doing, I'm going to actually do it in a way of remote desktoping. So I'll call the other computer on this computer that we are using here, so you'll see it via remote desktop. So that's how we shall actually manage almost everything. So before we do anything, we have to make sure that we're connected on a network. You can use Ethernet, but for me I'm going to use Wi-Fi. Actually, I'm going to share information via Wi-Fi. So this is also how people share information via wireless. Yeah, so then I'll press Windows plus E, the start tab plus E, or you open up a folder. Then I'll click on network. So when I click on network, you'll discover that my machine is connected to a network, and this is actually my computer here. The computer that you're seeing is my computer. So I right click on this network and I'll select properties. So via properties, if I want to enable my computer to allow sharing, I can go to change advanced sharing of settings. Change advanced sharing settings. You'll discover that these are some settings that you guys can change or do it. So you can tap via first of all, you can turn on network discovery in case your network discovery is not turned on. In case you want to turn on printer and file sharing, you turn it on. Actually, you turn this on in case you want to do the file sharing. So you have to turn off folder sharing when people you read through this. For example, when a public folder sharing is on, people on the network, including home members, can access the files. So turn off folder sharing when people are logged off of this computer. This is just an option that you can enable. You read through. There is this option here, password protected sharing. You can either turn it on or turn it off. I prefer it to be on. In case someone wants to get information from my computer, that person must be having the password, must be having access control, that must be having access to access that information. So you're going to discover that in case I want to call this computer on some other computer, it will ask me for a password. So basically, by doing all that, configuring all that via change advanced sharing settings, you've actually allowed people to access information. You've allowed people to access information that they want. So basically, we shall start our remote desktoping. So when I press remote desktoping, remember the command is mstsc, or you can actually start it the normal way, by clicking on the start button and searching for remote. There it is. Yeah, it's there. So I'll need to remember how do they check for IP address. So I'll need to know the IP address of the computer or the name of the computer that I want to access. You remember they check for IP address using IP config, but now this is the IP address for this computer, but I need to know the IP address of the other computer. Since it's my computer, I already know the IP address of that computer, which we are going to actually use in a few. Since it's my computer, so it's a 192 we're going to use a 192.168.0.100, the same IP that we found here is the IP address we're going to use. So when I tap connect, I'll wait for it, I'll wait a little. So, and I'll put a password. Since I've ever logged in using this, so I'll put the password of the other computer that I'm trying to access. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I want you to get a clear picture. I want like, since we've made this computer, I want us to see on how we can get information from the other computer, how we can give access permissions. So this is the other computer. We've actually logged in into the other computer. Yeah. So as you see, these are two different desktops. There is this desktop and then there is this desktop here. So on this desktop, I want us to, for example, if I want someone to access maybe a folder that I've created, so I'll create a folder and I'll maybe put it on local disk E. Oh, okay, I'll create a folder and I'll put it in, maybe let me put it in videos. Yeah, so I'm going to create a folder and I'll name it IT Doctor, and I want people to be able to access this folder on some other computer. Let's pretend that this is the computer that, okay, let's pretend that there is no remote desktop and we are doing this on two different computers. So I want people to access this on some other computer. So for example, I want people to access maybe some documents, Word documents in this file, in this folder. So the best practice I'll do is right click on it, select properties, then go to sharing, click on advanced sharing. So here I'll enable it. I'll first check this box to enable it shareable. By checking this box, it means this folder is actually on the network. It's being shared on the network, so anyone on the network who knows the IP address of this computer that I'm in, which is 192.168.0.100, can actually access this folder. So I can come here via permissions, and when you check read, it means someone can read what is in the folder, but that person is not allowed to delete, that person is not allowed to add anything, that person is not allowed to add any content on, like in that folder. So when I apply and I press OK and I go back to our desktop, the desktop that we've been using, and I call for that machine, the 192.168.0.100. So when I call for it, they'll ask for my username of that computer plus the password, and you'll discover that this folder here we created in the other computer is now shareable. So when I open this folder, you'll discover that now this is the Word document that we had put inside. But now if I try deleting this Word document here, you'll discover that they'll tell me that you need permission to perform this action. You require permission from desktop to make changes to this file. So when we go back to our computer and we give it permissions, we right click, then we open, maybe we go to sharing again, then advanced sharing, and then permissions, then then actually we just check full control. When I apply and click OK, then OK, then OK, then okay, then let me close. When I come back here and I refresh, then delete this time it will disappear. Right now I can even add a new folder, because I've given the user accessing this folder full control. The user can now create a folder and name it something. So basically, you guys should. So when you go back and check let's first check the other computer. Then I tell you what we shall be doing. When I go back and check in the other computer, and I open that computer, you will find the folder something. The way you differentiate between these computers is this is a 192.168.0.100, and this is a remote connection. I've accessed the other computer remotely just because I never wanted to stress you guys with moving cameras from this point to this point, and you guys needed to see the thing clearly. Basically, this is it for today. I wanted you guys to learn on how to do this, how to give permissions to people. You can share information but restrict people from what they can do. You guys should be preparing. We're soon going to enter into something kind of very deep, though very easy, and we shall need to use we shall need to have Linux operating system somewhere. If you have two computers, that's well and good, but if you have maybe one computer, you'll need to get a virtual you'll need to set up a virtual environment. You'll need to get a VM software, so that you set up a virtual machine, install Linux. You can install Linux, you can install Kali Linux, you can install Ubuntu, you can install any Linux distribution operating system. You can install any Linux distribution, and you'll need Windows, and you'll need Linux. You also need a server at some point. So thank you very much. Thank you for following. Well, we shall meet next time. God bless you.